So, as you may have seen, we recently released a new feature in Mercury Network called the Export tool. And as the name implies, the tool lets you export your orders into an XLSX file that you can use in your favorite spreadsheet app. But what the name doesn't imply, but is actually really important, is that little button packs a serious punch, letting you essentially create your own custom reports about your orders in any status, date range, and a wide range of other criteria. So where you previously needed to talk to our client relations team to get a custom report made, any Mercury Network user can now create these reports on the fly anytime you need them. And you don't have to worry about the data you requested not being exactly what you need, because you can keep playing with it, filtering, and sorting until it's exactly what you're looking for. In case you can't tell, I am extremely excited about this new feature. I've run like 50 reports just for myself, and it's only been out for a week. So let's jump in and see how this thing works. Okay, so a lot of the power behind this feature comes from using the tools that you're already familiar with to filter your orders and view the columns to get the data that you need inside your reports. For example, let's say that you simply need to run a report on all of your completed orders. Well, you can see all your completed orders here just by clicking the status folder on the left. These are all of the completed orders. So from here, we can just click Export, Completed Orders in View. So completed orders in view is going to export everything that we're currently looking at into a spreadsheet file, which you can open in Excel or whatever application that you prefer. So it's really straightforward and it makes a lot of sense. But there are some little subtleties here that make it more powerful than that. So let's take a look at that. First, since you can control the number of rows, you can limit your view here or expand it. So we can go up to 300 orders in our view. So if we want to see the 300 completed orders, which we don't have that many in this test account, but you probably do in your account, you can have 300 up at a time, or you can narrow it down to 25. So we'll stop at about 50. So I can sort this view. Let's sort by vendor. And I can do it in either direction just by clicking this column header here. So I see there's three orders here from Michael Faraday, and I want to pull these out, and I only want these in my report. Then I would just select these, export selected orders. But to make it even better, I want to narrow down what columns I'm looking at, because the data points that I'm seeing here on my screen aren't exactly what I need for my report. So then I can click on my columns and start moving things around. I don't really need to know if that was a VMP order. I assume they all are. Bid due doesn't matter to me. UCDP, not important. But maybe what is important to me is the client group that this order was placed in. So after I save that, I'm going to see that it's changed the columns here. And when I go to export this report, it's going to show me just the things that I was looking for. Client group wasn't the greatest example. I probably should have tested that one ahead of time. But you'll see this in yours. So let's say I see that there's only 3 orders here for this guy, and they're kind of old. I am curious, actually, if I've placed any orders with him recently. So let's look at the last 6 months. Has he gotten anything in the last 6 months? So I'm going to change the field that I'm sorting to the vendor name. It contains this last name that gives it a relatively broad search, and I don't have to worry about spelling things exactly right. Okay, so here I see there are some orders, and some of them are pretty recent. But I'm still seeing some fields here that don't matter to me, so I'm going to get rid of them. The lender's always the same, in my account anyway. Let's get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. I'm going to save this. So that looks more like the information that I'm looking for. So I'll go ahead and save it. And there it is. So now I've saved this report, and I can do whatever I need to do with it, which is really, really handy. So you may be asking yourself, what if I need to use these columns in my view to do my job every day, but I don't need it for this report? Does that mean I'm going to be going back and forth, reconfiguring my columns every time I come in here? The answer is kind of sort of. That's because the column settings are specific to each user. So you can set up an unlimited number of users. I would actually recommend, if you're going to be running a lot of reports in here, that you set up a user specifically for that. So if we have this reporting user, and I gave them really like a view-only set of permissions here where they can manage the orders by product and other users' orders, they can't really do anything with it. So if you did have this login, all you would really be able to do is view the orders that are in there. So then you can mess around with columns and filters as much as you want and not worry about it messing up the configuration you need for your workflow or any of your other users. Column sorting and all these filters, that's a user-specific thing. So if I were to change this, I only want to see FHA orders, that's not going to do anything to any other user. And same with the columns and everything else. So if you're going to be doing this a lot, set up a reporting user, and then you can play with it as much as you want to and generate whatever reports you're looking for. So it's really straightforward. You can create basic custom reports just by finding the orders that you're looking for, using the status folders or the find tool. You can customize the information that's going to be reported by using my columns, and control the number of records just by setting the number of rows that you're viewing down here. So the resulting file is going to give you all that information that you just searched, but dropped into an Excel file for you. So it's going to give you some really powerful information to create some compelling reports for your organization. I think it's going to make a huge difference in your day-to-day workflow. And to help give you even more visibility into your orders and increase your efficiency, we're going to be adding more fields like closing date, which is going to appear inside the order and also become a sortable column that you can add using my columns. So you should start seeing closing date in just a few weeks. And of course, we're always making other updates and improvements as well. So if you have any questions about this, go ahead and shout them out in that Q&A module. I'd be happy to answer them. But this is pretty straightforward, and I'm sure you're excited to start using it in your own platform running a million reports.